Hey, Shalom, Michelle, one stuff. So was by giving no praise to Yah, Bashem, Yah, Shah, Bashem, Rakaku, Dash. Double on apostles of GMS and honesty brothers doing work in truth, war, sincerity. Just a quick one here on what do you call it, the Japanese Christmas cake, right? Which I have to say that it's a funny insult. This one, right? So it says an unmarried woman over 25 in Japan was once called a Christmas cake, a slur referencing pastries that can't sell after December 25, right? It says now so many women are choosing to be single, the slur is fading, and women are rejecting the double standards that it was based on. Right now, I found it funny, because in Eastern society they'll have like Christmas cakes and whatever, what have you, and they ain't gonna be as soon as December 26th comes, they're off the shelves, and the Easter eggs are are on the shelves, so it's a very funny. I find it a very funny thing. Nobody wants it anymore, right? And just like how in the ancient world, whether you like it or not, one would have been given away in her youth when she was a young woman, right? Over to be married, and this notion of these older women, still single, unmarried, no prospect of marriage, but they're strong, independent career women. That's nasty. That's off. That's against nature. It's against your own body clock, right? The truth of that is your body clock, because the later in life you leave, getting married, having children, the more dangerous it is, right? Says goes on to say the trend is cultural and economic. More women are working in Japan than ever, right? So they're all becoming strong, independent career women, right? It says, but those who marry are still expected to bear the brunt of the housework and childcare. Single women say they're choosing to focus on themselves and their careers instead. And what does it sound like to you? Right, so it sounds like the witchcraft. Oh man, shit! I just saw this. Right, it says, I thought if I get married, I would just have to do more housework. I love my job and I wanted to be free to do it. Right, it says, Kayoko Masuda, 49 and unmarried. Right, he was stopping by a solo karaoke salon. I mean, that's a damn shame. Right, that's a damn shame. You zoom in on that number. That's a damn fucking shame, man. Right. What's for me striking is the fact that this is all said in past tense. It's like, you're 49 having to go, basically going to clubs on your ones, right, to meet some friends, right? So some Japanese women like Kaneito, 25 and single, are staging weddings for themselves, complete with gowns and solo bridal portraits, right? I mean, once again, that's depressing, and she'd get a pop, but nah, she'd rather be single, which basically makes her unattractive. End of the day, we were commanded to be fruitful and multiply, right? Another Sane Hanoka 31 told a group of friends attending hers. So this is a thing that happens, right? They're actually having weddings for themselves, and them Ammonites, man, they're weird because you'll get their men. Right, on the other hand, that will be marrying cartoon characters, man, anime characters, right? It says in the mid 90s, just 1 in 20 women in Japan had never been married by the time they turned 50. Right, 20 years later, it's 1 in 7. Right, the trend has changed the way businesses operate, from women-only zones at karaoke salons to apartment complexes aimed at women on their own. As a result, births are also tumbling. Last year, the number of babies born in Japan fell to the lowest level since at least 1899, when records began. Right, governments now try to bring couples together. Tokyo offers matchmaking tours and seminars for singles, but for many single Japanese women, the decision to stay single is as much about liberation as not finding a partner. And for some, their married friends serve as cautionary tales. Right, so they're happy as long as they're with their kids, but some of them just describe their husbands as a big baby, right? And in this society, promotes big babies. I was hearing something about Korea, where basically these what do you call it? These the men over there, basically, because they're having to stay at their parents' house for so long, whatever, what have you. And it's not, not the same sense as like the ancient world where you're doing stuff, right? You're learning, how to become a man, right? Basically saying a lot of the men one of the things I heard from a native was a lot of the men in that country are just a bunch of big babies, right? So it says they don't really like having to take care of their husbands, right? Which, that's off, right? Not saying you're supposed to be a big baby, right? But you're supposed to want to take care of your husband, right? It says 48 works in an administrator, right? And lives in a condominium. She bought herself a condo. She bought herself. Oh, I bought my own place. But you're 48 and you're alone, right? But that was an interesting read that I came across from the New York Times, right? And, just reading that again, it's just like, man, this world is full of demons. These people are, bugged out. This is 1 Timothy 5:14. This is, "I will therefore that the younger women marry and bear children, guard the house, give none occasion to the adversary to speak reproachfully," right? So the Lord set it up. Because when this was written, ultimately these are the words of the Lord being spoken here, right? It says the Lord would rather that the younger women marry. And what does it mean to marry? We'll get in Exodus 22:16. It basically means to have sex, right? It says and bear children, right? Because hey, it's all about the children, man, right? One of the blessings of the kingdom is, little one shall become 1,000. You're gonna have a whole load of kids, right? This is Exodus 22:16, which says, "And if a man entice a maid that is not betrothed and lie with her, he shall surely endow her to be his wife," right? So basically, if a man was to see, a woman that had never had sex with anyone, right, and he had sex with her, that is now his wife, right? Which is why we say, really and truly, when we're dealing with these women out here, technically speaking, we're committing adultery. But what does the scripture say? It's a wicked and adulterous generation, which is why the standard that we live by, we go by, is, you ask the woman, if you seeing anyone. If she says no, then that's it, right? Obviously not being a demon about it, but that's it, right? Don't be now, season well, they've all got, whatever have you, but that's the standard that we keep, right? And this is, words that are fruitful and multiply, and it comes up, a number of times, right? It says, Genesis 1:22, "And the Most High blessed them, saying, be fruitful and multiply, fill the waters in the sea, and let the fowl multiply in the earth," right? And so of the animals also, they were commanded to be fruitful and multiply, right? Genesis 9:1, "And the Most High blessed Noah and his sons and said unto them, be fruitful and multiply and replenish the earth," right? Because that's what it's all about. It's all about, because the Lord isn't about death. That's Esau, right? Which is that whole philosophy that is being pushed over there in Japan, right? That's Esau's philosophy over there, right? Call it what you want. Right, I mean, they're still wearing what white wedding dresses like you see over here in the West, right? I mean, that wedding gown that you saw here, that was the best part of a just a typical Western wedding. This whole setting, you could be like, oh, it's just a wedding in New York or something. You got a Japanese woman getting married in New York, right? Says Isaiah 29:16, "Surely your turning of things upside down shall be esteemed as the potter's clay. For shall the work say of him that made it, he made me not? Or shall the thing framed say of him that framed it, he had no understanding?" Right, so Esau's gone around, he's turned everything upside down, right? And that's an example where, once again, we're seeing people not wanting to have children, right? Back in the ancient world, women who couldn't have children were begging the Lord, but because can I have some children? Such to that some of the the wives of the patriarchs, even said, look, well, for instance, what was it, Rachel? She said, look, man, go in unto my a handmaid, so that I can have a children, so I can have a child by her. Same thing with Abraham and Sarah, right? Sarah was like, look, man, go in unto Hagar, have a son by her, right? And then you get that Ishmael son, from that, right? But now everything's been turned upside down. It's Revelation 18:3. For all the nations have drunk of the wine of the wrath of fornication. Right? And that wine is philosophies. And that's an example of a philosophy. Right? It says, and the kings of the earth have committed fornication with her, and the merchants of the earth are waxed rich through the abundance of her delicacies. Right? So all nations have, had a taste of America's philosophies. Right? And it's as simple as having a relative over in the West, because they're speaking to their little cousins and nephews over in their homeland, and they're filling them with Esau's doctrine that they've learned here. Right? Then you have the Hollywood, then you have music, right? The news, the internet. All of that is sending over philosophies to their homeland. Habakkuk 2:15 says, woe unto him that giveth his neighbor drink. Right? Once again, philosophies, right? That putteth thy bottle to him and makes them drunken also, that thou mayest look on their nakedness. So Esau's going to be destroyed for this wickedness. Esau's going to be destroyed for, pushing all this wickedness upon the earth by these philosophies. Right? Because once again, those same women are basically saying they can do it on their own. Right? What's going to happen in the time of martial law? Right? What is going to happen? Let me grab this. It's Isaiah 4. It says, and in that day, right, 7 women, right, so a complete number of women, 7 represents completion, shall take hold of one man, saying, we will eat our own bread and wear our own apparel. So basically, we won't be a burden unto you. Only let us be called by thy name to take away our reproach. Must basically take care of us, man. Right? This is a man of the Lord. Right? Take care of us. We won't be a burden. Just protect us, right? In Isaiah 32:2, it says, and the man shall be as an hiding place from the wind. Shall be as an hiding place from the wind. When you get a nice, a really strong windy day, right? And you're struggling to walk, and then you turn the corner, and then now you're now you're no longer in the path of the wind, so you can kind of relax. Right? You get, I remember one time when I was younger, it was at a school trip where we went behind a waterfall, right? And the wind was so strong you couldn't breathe. Now, the beauty is that when you turn a corner and you're out of the way of the wind, right? Then you can breathe again, right? So that's basically what it's saying. That's what a man's going to be, that breath of fresh air, right? It says in a covert from the tempest, right, and rivers of water in a dry place, right? You've been, walking the Sahara, right? You ain't drank anything. You're hallucinating, right? You've already jumped into a pool of rocks. There was no water. There was just, a whole bunch of rocks. But because you're hallucinating, you think it's water, right? And you're all scratched up because of that. And then you actually come across some actual water, right? That's how man's gonna be, right? It says, and the shadow of a great rock in a weary land, right? So that's what one of the men of the Lord are going to be in those days, right? But you're all right though. You're a strong, independent woman. You can do it on your own. This is Psalms 127:3, right? Just on the flip side, it says, look, children are an heritage of Yahweh. So children, they're a gift, man. At the end of the day, I know on this side, it may come across as, it's a curse, right? But ultimately, they are a gift. On this side, you get, you hear your woman's pregnant, immediately you're like, fuck. You're thinking about, the bills. You're thinking about having to fight the nurses and the doctors not to vaccine your woman when she's pregnant, not to vaccinate your child when it's born. You're praying that your child doesn't die, right? You're praying, you got a whole load of worries that come with that. Right, you're like, man, fuck, gonna have to send them to school, and Esau's gonna be filling his head with madness, right? Which is one of the reasons why we beg the Lord to get out of this kingdom, right? But ultimately, children are a blessing of the Lord, Right, it says, and the fruit of the womb is his reward. As arrows are in the hand of a mighty man, so are children of the youth. Right, happy is the man that hath his quiver full of them. Right, so happy is a man who, can father many children. Right, it says they shall not be ashamed, but they shall speak with the enemies in the gate. Right, but that's all I have. So, as always, Lord's will, that was edifying. Till the next time, Shalom.